Hello, everybody. Spinster Spin here, and well, today we're going to be doing, I guess, three topics. Actually, we're going to do two topics in one, and we're just going to be, well, doing like an update video as well as some sort of a reading video as well. So, if you guys have seen the recent news and obviously saw my community post, yes, it is true. Finally, for once, Hasbro finally decided to update us on something, and that being the cancellation of My Little Pony Generation 5. Ah, and it's true. They're literally canceling it. And it's kind of sad because we were some of those hardcore Gen 5 fans, they actually love this show. Now, I don't call myself a hardcore Gen 5 fan. I do know that I do love but I did enjoy the story of Tell Your Tale. Tell Your Tale's one of my favorite series, and I know that sometimes every Thursday, I always wait for a new Tell Your Tale episode, and just to see what they have in store, what lore they're gonna explore, what lore that needs to be dived in, and what My Little Pony, like, see what's next for Misty's and her to develop more of her character arc, but everything was immediately scrapped. And it's going to be hard for me because, eventually with them canceling Generation 5, it feels like we're going to be left off of a cliffhanger. Like some things were going to be left unsaid and all of that, and I just hope we can get some explanation at some point. But anywho, I will make a separate video of that, probably in a week or two. But I also wanted to say something to those who are full-on hating Generation 5 fans, who are hating on the My Little Pony Generation 5. Those who are not minor hating, but those who are full-on hating, doing saying death threats and all that. I saw that from those who I've heard it from many people, and I wanted to go ahead and also be one of those who wanted to defend G5 and wanted to stop those who are literally full-on hating My Little Pony Generation 5. There are one of these types of people that I really don't love, and those are, man, there are different type of people I really do not want to associate, and those type of people who literally hate My Little Pony Generation 5 and just full on being so violent and being, disgusting, horrible motherfuckers. I'm going to tell you this right now. This shit needs to stop. I understand you hate My Little Pony Generation 5, but if you don't want to watch if you don't love My Little Pony Generation 5, then what's the point of you guys just watching a TV show? I mean, you do have the will just to not watch it and just, watch other shows that you might love. I, however, love My Little Pony, and I'm not afraid to admit it that I love this show dear to my heart, whether it's Tell Your Tale, Friendship is Magic. Heck, I can even love Make Your Mark for all I care. And I got into Friendship is Magic, yes, but it made me to fully extend the lore and maybe want to, explore the lore and all of that, full on everything is, tell your tale. And it made me love Sunny Star Scout, you know, and Jenna Warren as Sunny Star Scout made me, love the series Tell Your Tale. And sure, Friendship is Magic was a bit off at first, and some of the chapters suck, but I still think it still had potential if, like I said, if it was done right. But I mean, there's nothing I can say about it again because Hasbro confirmed they're canceling Generation 5. But anyways, back to the subject. To those who are literally hating My Little Pony Generation 5 and doing the shittiest acts that involves, full on hating, which I'm pretty sure that was been explained by other YouTubers like Blue Bolt. That was explained by Blue Bolt. Man, I'm literally. Oh man, why am I butchering this name so much? I'm really sorry, man. I'm sorry, dude. Blue Bolt, if you're watching this video, I'm sorry if I butchered your name. It was. I have mixed feelings about. I'm having a lot of, I'm going through a lot right now with MLP G5 being canceled, and it's gonna take a while for me to move on. Just like how it took a while for me to move on from Friendship is Magic, but it's gonna take a while. But yeah, like every other person before, like Blue Bolt said, like, for those who are literally just hating MLP G5, then you're absolutely dicks, like complete dicks. My Little Pony, the My Little Pony fandom is meant to, all about friendship and, as full honest, I don't regret joining the MLP group. The MLP community. I never regret joining the Brony community. I'm glad that I'm surrounded nice friends who I come to know of, and I'm really happy that I'm being part of this wonderful community and explore the lore of My Little Pony and just having fun, just admiring the series, whether it's Generation 5 or Generation 4. So, what I'm about to say is, for those who are hating My Little Pony Generation 5, you need to stop, because enough is a fucking enough. Nobody needs to. You need to grow up and just move on. Like, it'll take a while for me to move on, but I don't hate My Little Pony Gen 5 like you guys. I mean, I'm moving on from the point of from me moving on of MLP G5 being canceled is the me where I'm being depressed that we're not getting any new content of Gen 5 or anything new type of me moving on, because it's like me being sad that we're not getting any new content, but and it's just ridiculous that I've been hearing that many people who said that they are hardcores of MLP are literally throwing a whole lot of shit onto My Little Pony Generation 5, saying that, oh yeah, this is fucking stupid, you better stop hating My Little Pony G5, you better stop loving My Little Pony Generation 5, so on and so forth. Like, this is fucking stupid. Grow up and just move on. Because you are no better than anybody who are just being rightfully hating MLP Gen 5. And I'm there to stand and protect MLP G5 and any MLP generation. Like I said, My Little Pony is just is a really awesome TV show and franchise, and I'm always happy, and I love being myself, being a brony, and being myself is who I am. Anyways, with that out of the way, and me explaining about the update of My Little Pony Generation 5 being canceled or whatever, I think it's time to do the reading part of the video, because I'm pretty sure this is what this video is going to be all about. So anyways, yeah, apparently Hasbro and IDW had just released the first issue of the mini series I explained in my previous video, which I'll put a link right here, which is called My Little Pony: The Storm of Zephyr Heights, and it's a G4 and G5 crossover. So basically, I'm gonna go read it with you guys, and it's gonna be hopefully just answer all the questions, like what happened between G4 and G5 as a whole. So let's get into it. So My Little Pony Gen 5 is just a really cool story, and it's nevertheless a really cool story whatsoever. So anyways, the first issue of The Storm of Zephyr Heights takes place at, of course, Zephyr Heights, and we can see that somebody says, "But Mom," and we figure it out, of course, is Zip Storm, because, well, who else would say "But Mom"? I mean, no, some people do, but I mean. But anyways, it looks like Zip Storm is basically complaining about what's going on about. Apparently, it's not just Zip Storm, it is also Queen Haven, and appear to be some worker at the castle. And apparently, and it seems that Queen Haven is about to go off on some sort of vacation, probably with Apple Biddle, as Zip Storm is basically complaining about her going on vacation. Well, as she's saying this, we see that Queen Haven is comedically saying that she can't show up in an amethyst gown. Okay, I mean, that's something I never thought I would see every day. Then it turns out we see that Zip Storm is complaining, well, not complaining. How do I put this? Basically explaining that she can't just go on vacation and abandon Zephyr Heights, because the last time she did that was when she took a whole bath and basically the whole government almost collapsed. Well then, that is something I never thought I would hear from Zip. But anyways, Queen Haven reassured her and said, "You're right. I suppose I need to appoint a new queen, a queen regent, for the week. Who could possibly take on that much stress and hold the kingdom together for an entire week? Oh, I know, you." As she somehow tosses a crown right on top of Zip's head, with that amazing face expression Zip made, with Zip saying, "What?" Well, who else would have known for a fact that Zip would start freaking out? And I think it's already explained before that Zip doesn't want to be the queen because she would rather be a detective, but of course it's going to be eventually come with her being the queen, since she is rightfully next, she's the next rightfully heir of the throne, so. But anyways, Zip is just basically saying the stuff that I just said. Like, we have talked about it, and I think I can be a good queen someday, many, many years from now, when you're an old gray mare, and I solved all the mysteries and flown all over the world. But not today, not for a whole week. I don't know what I'm doing. Don't you remember that time I cut my own mane? It's going to be like that. As Zip is basically shaking Haven pretty violently in panic. Okay. I mean, I would feel Zip's expression right here. I mean, dude, if somebody put me in charge of like for example, in a laser tag tournament and I was somehow being put in charge as team captain, bro, I wouldn't even last a minute being team captain. That is something I wouldn't be able to do, and just be like, okay, I'm literally we're going to lose. That's just basically me right there. Anyways, good old Queen Haven just basically tells Zip, reassuring her that everything is going to be okay, and of course, it's giving her thoughts about her little mohawk puff thing, as she somehow does, quote, but the reason why she chose her is because she is, well, it is perfect for her, and as queen, she expects her to make just those sorts of decisions. As we can see in the next shot, Zip says, "Mom, you can't leave me in charge of all of this alone." And then we see somebody saying, "Well, then good thing she called in some reinforcements." As we can see in the next shot, it's none other than the rest of the main six: Pit Petals, Hitch Trailblazer, Izzy Noonbow, Sunny Star Scout, and Misty Bright Dawn. With Pip saying, "I mean, that haircut works for you, but we wouldn't want all of Zephyr Heights to end up with it." With Izzy following up saying, "Oh, can I get it though? I think I'd look cool with a mohawk." Which, I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw Zip Storm, right before My Little Pony A New Generation came out, it was the best. That mohawk is honestly cool. It just reminds me of future Rainbow Dash for some reason. Anyways, let's continue. Anyways, we see that Pip is basically... Zip is basically was wondering if Pip was in on this too. With Pip saying, "In on it? In on it? No. I made her promise that if I help, she wouldn't call him Alfie in front of me for at least a month. Besides, I know my big sis can handle anything, so I just signed up to spend a week taking advantage of Mom's spa package." Spa package, cause what else Pip wanted to do for a week? Anyways, we see Sunny chimed in saying, "And if something does happen, I think the six of us have proven we can handle pretty much anything together." With Hitch saying, "I even got a babysitter for Sparky for the week. That way I can lend a hoof and he won't, blow anything up." Because we saw that in the video game. in a Zephyr Heights mystery, which I will show you the gameplay video right here. Izzy follows. Then we see Izzy saying, I brought all my crafting supplies. By the time Haven gets back, we will have redecorated the whole city. With Misty saying, and you probably don't need my help with anything because you're so awesome, but if you do, I'm here. That is such a Misty thing to say. Man, I'm starting to love Misty's character arc, because now she's like, that made her a full-on permanent member of the main six. Anyways, Zip finally accepting her role says, you know what, you guys are right. I mean, heck, we saved all the world's magic together a bunch of times. We can keep one city from falling apart long enough for my mom to take a break. Besides, my mom works really hard and deserves to spend some time with her Alfie. And we could see that a little face expression of Queen Haven basically saying, oh, Zephyrina, thank you. And honestly, I've never seen Queen Haven so happy. There were times that she was somewhat happy, but I never seen her this happy before. That is pretty wholesome. And then we follow it up with a pretty funny remark with Queen Haven saying, it does sound just disgusting when you say it, though. You should probably just call him Alphabettle. Was it finishing up saying, you're right. I heard it and it was just gross. With Misty and Izzy laughing in the background because it's pretty funny. And if you guys are wondering, yes, Alphabettle is Misty's dad, which is explained in My Little Pony Make Your Mark, for those who haven't watched it. It is still available on Netflix. Anyways, Queen Haven heads off to her vacation, saying, well, I have to be going, my dears. But I haven't a single worry. I know the kingdom is in good hooves. As she blows a kiss right at Zip, because mother and daughter suck. Then we cut 30 minutes later, and then we see that Zip Storm is working really hard, signing off royal get well cards, important documents, so on and so forth. Pretty much any stuff that any royalty would do. Man, I'm starting to love not only Misty's character arc, but how Zip is fully, realizing that she's going to have to be queen one way or another, and that this week would be her starting point on learning how to be a good queen. And this one is a perfect start, like I said. Anyways, then we see that Pip, Misty, and Izzy were joining with her just as she was filling out some paperwork. And then we cut into the next shot with Zip saying, okay guys, I really do appreciate the support, but you don't have to stay with me the whole time. I'm just doing paperwork. And with Zip saying, and with Hitch saying, no problem. No problem. What can we do to help? Should I run security? Check the castle for structural weaknesses? And Zip saying, actually, why don't you guys just have a good time? Go and have a good time. If you got any ideas? With Pip just casually hanging next to a wall saying, do I? Which looks like that she is using a toothpick to basically saving it for this good occasion, I guess, because that. Anyways, we see that they eventually go to the studio, but not just any studio, a recording studio. Man, that is pretty convenient. I'm pretty sure this is a much bigger studio than the one back at Maritime Bay. And honestly, I feel like I would be one of those ponies in this recording studio just making my own videos. For every pony, just my own like explanation videos everywhere in Equestria like that, but just doing it for you guys and for your entertainment. But anywho, we see that eventually they would stumble across the library where eventually Sunny is just like, you know, digging in some old history books about old Equestria. And of course, they're having a field day just reading every single book, as we see that, you know, Izzy over there is having a lot of fun, riding a bookcase ladder, and Misty just exploring all the books, with Pip just saying, just remember, we're meeting up at the spa in a few hours, with basically Sunny just scrambling all the books out of the shelves with dust clouds flying everywhere. That is pretty funny. This is one of the reasons why I love Sunny Star Scout so much. My favorite Gen 5 pony. And of course, it follows up with Sunny just kicking her hooves on some, like, on a stack of books, which I can see that some of these books are called Wrath of Gummy, Unicorn's Odd, Return of Queen Chrysalis, The Quantum Physics, Little Fillies, The Lost Years, and I'm pretty sure another book which I don't understand, but those are the stack of books that I'm pretty sure Sunny's kicking her hooves on as she's reading a book about Twilight, which basically titles Love at Twilight. I don't know why there's a book about her, but I mean, okay. With her saying, okay, yeah, sure. Oh, wait, I have never heard of Flash Magnus. And if you guys don't know, Flash Magnus is one of the old pillars of Equestria that was seen in Season 7, Season 8, and Season 9 of Friendship's Magic. That is a really cool Easter egg. Also, little disclosure here, I actually, for those who went to TrotCon, the voice actor of Flash Magnus was at TrotCon 2024, so yeah, just thought I would point that out there. But anyways, let's continue. We eventually, you know, splash into what appeared to be Queen Haven's Royal Craft Room, which basically Izzy is full on geeking out at the moment as she basically just jumps into the crafts area, basically feeling like this is her little paradise. And then we're cut into another scene where it turns out that it is a Zephyr Heights Royal Gardens, which somehow turned into its own zoo. Which, of course, has some other different type of creatures, which, of course, wait, unicorn birds and unipigs? And then we see tigers and pega bears and bunnies, regular bunnies, and an elephant. And then, of course, we see a breezy. Wait, how the heck are breezies somehow living in Zephyr Heights? Okay, I'm not going to answer it. Answer that. So, of course, Hitch is having the time of his life. Anyways, back at the library, we can see that Sunny is literally, you know, diving into the lore and the history of old Equestria, more specifically, you know, into a one book that's titled A History of the Party Canon, which I can assume is Pinkie Pie's Party Canon. Basically, she's diving into the lore of old Equestria, just like you and me. Honestly, I could never picture any other pony besides Sunny Star Scout who I could relate to that dives into lore like this, especially when I wanted to dive into lore between G4 and G5. Anyways, because of her reading so many books, I think some of the books basically covered her into some sort of blanket. And Zip just walked in saying, "Sunny, are you still in there?" With Sunny saying, "Oh, right here, Zip. Turn right at fashion history, then left at culinary history." And then we see, and of course, she's also drinking coffee, which I assume it's coffee. Like I said before, I could never relate to any character besides Sunny Star Scout, who basically drinks coffee and sometimes, well, oh man, why am I mixing it up like that? Who dives into the lore of MLP G, dives into the lore of Equestria, specifically between the timelines of G4 and G5, while sometimes drinking coffee. And we can see that Sunny has been busy. Sunny has been busy as she would answer that quote that Zip said. "Yeah, I look at all this and I can't help but think, what if my dad had access to all of this? There are answers to so many of his biggest questions right here." As she holds up a book saying, "The Somber Saga, Volume 37. Wow. That is something I never thought I would hear. And then with Zips, and of course Sunny says, "Oh wait, did you need my help with something? Is there an emergency?" And Zip says, oh no, I just..." And then she says, "Okay, remember the first time we met? I let you and Izzy out of prison because there was something I wanted to show you?" Yeah. She was basically referencing the time, that first scene of her, Sunny, and Izzy first met in My Little Pony: A New Generation. Which is a really awesome movie, by the way, and I still love it. Anyways, we see that Zip is looking... Zip says there was an old station that had been used in years, and it had this poster in it, and I really wanted to know about it. I felt like it was something important. As we can see that she was remembering of a poster which happened to be the Wonderbolts, which is of course one of Equestria's most famous flight teams, which I'm assuming that this is gonna have something connected to Rainbow Dash. Anyways, continuing on. Zip basically goes on saying, and I'm paraphrasing here, "I kind of got distracted with magic coming back and getting my flight in the Bright House and all, but thinking about being queen, that was one mystery I've always wanted to solve that I haven't figured out." Okay, I'm glad you brought that up because I was gonna ask you. There's a lot of recent history here, and there's a lot of myths and old mare's tales, but everything from around Twilight's time is missing. I know from reading about her that Pegasi had history books, so where are they? As we see a shot of some books missing and somewhat of an empty slot where there's a spider and some spider webs basically filling that gap. And then we see Zip answering her question saying, "No pony really knows. We know that before Zephyr Heights, we lived somewhere else, but archaeologists have never been able to find the Pegasus homeland," which they have no idea that they are originally from Cloudsdale before they moved to Zephyr Heights. And then, of course, my theory was somewhat correct, as we see Sunny Star Scout holding a book that titled Cloudsdale, as she says, "What about Cloudsdale?" And then we see as someone says Cloudsdale, and we see that someone is basically Pip saying, "You're talking about a city that built in the clouds. a magical city where they train the fastest flyers? With Pip walking towards them saying, "That's an old mare's tail, Sonny. How could that even work?" Zip was obsessed with that myth as a kid. That's just a bunch of daring do stories. With Sonny just basically responding back saying, "Maybe, but my dad's old books about Twilight Sparkle talked about it like it was a real place." Which is indeed a real place because Generation 5 is a sequel to Generation 4 because Cloudsdale is indeed a real city made for Pegasi. And actually, here's a fun fact for those who haven't watched My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Cloudsdale was actually the founding city for the Pegasi. For those who haven't watched Season 2, the Pegasi was going to take up some land that was going to be called Pegasopolis or something. Man, I forgot the name of what the Pegasi were originally going to name the land until they named it Equestria. But you know what I'm saying. Eventually it led to Heartswarming, which eventually founded 3 cities: Kirchalot, Cloudsdale, and Ponyvale. And there, Cloudsdale was born. And as Rainbow Dash said, it is that the best Pegasi came out of Cloudsdale. And I'm stuttering a lot. Anyways, let's continue on. Pip says maybe it was just not in the clouds. Maybe it was just on a mountain, so it seemed like it was. I mean, Cloudsdale isn't any more real than Colianus, right, Zip? And Zip says, "Yeah, totally." Basically trying to not argue with her sister, of course. But anyways, Pip is pushing Zip away, saying, "But we can talk myths and legends later. Right now, we have a queen-size spa appointment to make." Pip saying, "Pip, what's the big deal? You run a spa." But Pip says, "Oh, but not like this spa." And then she started explaining about the spa, saying, "This spa has lavender-scented waterfalls and mineral pools from the real natural hot springs. This is the spa other spas go to when they're stressed out. And because it's my mom's appointment, there will be an army of the best spa ponies waiting on us. Imagine it. It'll be enough to calm Misty down and distress Hitch. And don't you want to see that?" As we can see that some of the ponies are getting basically the paradise that they've always wanted. Which is kind of a huge understatement if you ask me. And then we see Zip, Pip, and Sunny basically walking out saying, "Actually, I do," with Zip following up saying, "You've sold me on going to the spa. What do you think a Hitch? That isn't a high-strung looks like." With Pip finishing up saying, "I don't know, but I'm excited to find out." And then we see they're on their way to the spa, with Pip saying, "Spa time." And then as we see a shot of what appeared to be a news anchor on a billboard saying, "And great news for all of you colts and fillies out there. It's looking like clear, warm weather all this week, but make sure you get your playing in now, because it looks like we will have a bit of a storm system coming in for next week." As we see that one of these 3 slots says 72 degrees, 71 degrees, 72 degrees for sunny skies. And of course, we see that on the 4th slot, it says 56 degrees, and it has a lightning bolt with a cloud with a lightning bolt on it. But, which, I'm going to say this out, what the crap? Like, what the fuck? Check this out. This ain't no ordinary lightning bolt, or a cloud with a cloud that came with it. That is actually, if you guys know what that cloud and lightning bolt means, then you know that that isn't just an ordinary lightning bolt and cutie mark. That is actually lightning bolt and cloud. That is actually the cutie mark of Rainbow Dash. As I stated before, Sunny Star Scout is my favorite G5 pony, but Rainbow Dash will always be my favorite G4 pony. Best G4 pony ever. The best. Which I'm pretty sure this is hinting at the fact that, you know, this is of course a Gen 4 and Gen 5 crossover MLP comic. Anyways, we see that Zip is looking at the billboard saying, "Perfect, I can spend a whole week being a queen of the nice warm summer. Then my mom can come back and deal with telling Pegasi that they can't fly because they might get struck by lightning." And then Misty says, "What does that happen?" With Misty saying, "Whoa, does that happen?" And Misty answers her saying, "Not as much now, but when magic came back, it happened all the time. Pegasi were really bad at flying between buildings, so everybody tried to fly above the city. So when it stormed, they were the highest thing, and zap! And she smashes her 2 hooves together, as Misty is just like the rest of us, pretty shocked as she says, 'Whoa.'" Then we cut to the next shot. We see that they're at the good old spa room. The good old spa room, where we see Pip is basically covered in mud. Well, whatever mud that was. And just chilling at some rocks, with basically Misty being covered in bandages like if she was some sort of mummy, with pickles covering her eyes and a towel over her mane. And then we see Izzy just reading some magazine as she's getting her mean do. Then we see Zip is basically eating some grapes in a bathtub. Then we see Hitch is basically in some sort of distress. Well, at the same time, he's probably laughing because I guess he has some sort of tickle spot that some pony have found is a specific tickle spot. The hell? And of course, for some reason, Sunny is of course eating an apple and sitting on top of Hitch. I love Sunny so much. Like, I don't care if MLP G5 is like I said before, I love MLP. There are a lot of things I love about MLP G5, and this is one of them. Anyways, as they were about to leave the spa, with Izzy saying, "I love spa days." But then as soon as she left, we see that it's starting to snow, with Izzy saying, "Ooh, what's this? Cold white stuff. Is this a normal part of spa days?" As we see that both Sunny and Pip saying, "Snow? But it doesn't snow here in the summer." With Sunny following up saying, "That's strange. You don't think this could be the storm that..." And then we see Zip freaking out saying, "Gotta go." As Pip says, Zip, wait up, we can help." As she basically tries to tell her that they could help. But of course, Zip being Zip is just flying over the city saying, I knew it. I knew I shouldn't have relaxed and had fun. I knew I wouldn't be ready for something. As Zip flies in with the guards yelling, saying, Your Majesty, your advisors are looking for you. Which Zip really realizes that she done fucked up. And, well, kind of fucked. Well, she didn't fucked up, but, you know, she knew that she messed up on not being precautious about it. Anyways, she lands into the room with the advisors as she says, I'm here. Tell me what's going on. As one of them says, it's the storm, Your Majesty. It's like nothing we've ever seen before. With Zip saying, Zip continues and by saying, I thought it wasn't supposed to hit for a week. Well, the advisor says it wasn't, but look. As he points into a massive monitor saying, it grew to triple the original size and intensity, and it moved much faster than expected. Now it's slowing down and it seems to be settling right over Zephyr Heights. As we see a giant storm cloud basically covering all of Zephyr Heights, as we see that the temperatures are now 12 degrees. 12 degrees. I know. This is pretty much not a great idea, if you ask me. Anyways, we see that the advisors are trying. Anyways, we see that both the advisors and Zip are freaking out. You're telling me that this is going to get worse? Much worse. We need to get every pony out of here. Then both of them are screaming at each other's throats saying, You're telling me that on my first day as Queen Regent of Zephyr Heights, we need to evacuate the whole city? That is what I'm saying, Your Majesty, yes. As we see that one of them is holding a large paper saying evac plan. 1, mass hysteria. 2, schools. 3, downtown. 4, board all. I don't know why they would have that some sort of plan. I don't know. Anyways, we see that the rest of the main 6 showed up saying, There you are. It's getting really bad out there. Wait, what's going on? As Pip is pretty much confused just like the rest of us. Anyways. We see that. Anyways, they're answering all these questions saying, with Pip saying first, says, What's happening? With Sunny secondly saying, How can we help? With Izzy saying, We can help. And Missy just reassures her saying, Just tell us what you need. And Hitch says, We're here for you, Zip. And of course, Pip figure it out. Then Pip tells them, We need to evacuate Zephyr Heights. Here's what we're going to do, as she basically comes up with a plan. She tells good old Pip and Sunny, Pip and Sunny, you guys fly to the outskirts of the city and work your way in. Make sure we alert everyone. As Pip says, on it. Wait a second. Why is somehow Pip having a unicorn horn? Does Sunny somehow magically grant her temporarily alicorn status? Okay, that's a little weird, strange, but okay. Anyways, in the next shot, we see that. Anyways, Zip basically tells Misty and Izzy, Izzy, I need you two to use your magic to direct ponies and dig out a clear path down the mountain. with Misty saying, "Gotcha." And then Zip tells Hitch, you get the creatures from the garden and work with them on crowd control. Ponies are going to be worried. They need you to show them the way." And Hitch says, "Sounds like a plan." And Zip says, "I'm going to get to the TV station and let everyone know what's happening." As she follows up saying, "This is the biggest emergency in the history of Zephyr Heights, but together, the 6 of us can handle..." And before she finishes her sentence, we see that Pegasi are flying out of control, basically landing horribly, or in this case, crash landing into the street, basically with their wings very, very frozen and with very strong winds, as it basically finishes her sentence saying anything. Which basically just, a little worried, just basically worried, just like the rest of us. And that concludes issue 1. So, wouldn't that be... So, isn't that it? So, that was an interesting story. So it turns out this is basically setting up the story, like the whole main story of the G4 and G5 crossover that both IDW and Hasbro is promising us. Basically, setting that both Zephyr Heights and Cloudsdale will be the main focus of locations for the story, and that Cloudsdale will be the main focus of the story. So, I'm starting to wonder, those hints, Twilight Sparkle, Rainbow Dash's Cutie Mark, Cloudsdale, could this possibly hint the fact that this is some sort of time traveling event where Cloudsdale traveled from the past to the future, and with the old ponies like Twilight Sparkle, Rainbow Dash, Applejack, Fluttershy, Pinkie Pie, and Rarity just time traveled from the past to the future and just stumbled across the current main 6? I mean, this could be a logical reason for a G4 and G5 crossover. I mean, it didn't give us a lot of explanation with the first MLP Generations crossover of G4 and G1 because, well, it was a little different because G1 is its own separate universe, while G4 is its own universe. But I guess G4 and G5 will be something like, time traveling because they're in the same universe, but different timelines. But anyways, I can't wait for issue 2, which is going to be released on October 30th, which is around the week of not only Nightmare Night, which is also Halloween, but also around the week of good old Ponyville Cider Fest. So anyways, what do you guys think? Do you think issue 2 would be about, Cloudsdale, and if we could possibly see the original main 6 of Generation 4? Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. But until then, it's time for me to spin out!